Hi, everyone. Pastor Don Smith here. Welcome to the Talk About It podcast, where we take relevant topics with a biblical point of view and we talk about it. You know you want to, and so do I. Let's talk about it. Well, welcome back, everyone. Pastor Don here with Talk About It. I am so glad that you are here. Listen, for our longtime listeners, thank you for being back on this season. For our new listeners, if you're a first-time listener today, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Season 6, Episode 1 of the Talk About It podcast. And on this season, do we have an amazing topic for you? Listen, if you're a first-time listener, you need to know what all of our longtime listeners know, is that here on Talk About It, we take relevant topics with a biblical perspective and we talk about it. And this season, Season 6, do I have a topic for all of us? I promise you this is going to be a great topic. You're going to be glued each and every week to this season. And I want to spend today in Season 1 setting up the whole season for us, really just putting it in perspective, because I think this is such an important topic. Listen, this is a topic that you are going to be affected by. Matter of fact, there's no one on planet Earth that isn't affected by the topic we're going to talk about this season. You're going to want to invite all your friends, all your family. You're going to want to invite everyone, longtime listeners, new listeners. You need to make sure that you invite everyone. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Hey, did you know that you can now text? You can text the podcast. That's right. Right there in your show notes, there is a link that says text the podcast. You can push on that and text. You can send me a message right away. Let me know that, man, I've been waiting for this topic. I'm excited about this topic. I can't wait to hear about it. Let me know where you're listening from. You can email the podcast. Did you know that? That's right. talkaboutitpd@gmail.com. You can email the podcast. And because we've moved the podcast over to this hosting format, which you heard about in the last season, and now we have the opportunity for you as a listener to be a monthly supporter of the podcast. Did you know about that? That is an incredible opportunity. As a matter of fact, this week, if I say this week, as of the recording of this podcast, you'll see the date on there. Maybe you're listening years later. It doesn't matter. But this week, I've got my first monthly supporter. You know who you are. I love you guys. Thank you so much. What an awesome opportunity. And if you know anything about who I am, what I do, I love discipling, teaching, and training. All of it is going to go right into that. Part of it helps me support the platform that we're now on and a lot of things. And so, man, if you'd like to be a monthly supporter as little as $3 a month, as much as you want to, that would be awesome. It's going to help us out so much as far as what we're doing. Now, all of that's out of the way. Longtime listeners, new listeners, here we go. Are you ready? Here we are on Season 6, Episode 1 of Talk About It. And the topic I have picked for this season is a topic that affects everyone. I don't care who you are, young or old, okay? I don't care who you are, believer, non-believer. I don't care who you are. There is not a person on planet Earth that isn't affected by this topic. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. All right, this topic this season is marriage. Oh, here we go. And you're thinking, well, Pastor Don, I'm not affected. I'm not married. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're married or you're not married, whether you're looking forward to getting married, whether you've been married and you're not married now. There's not a person on planet Earth that isn't affected by marriage. Now, I'm going to spend the season talking not only about that, but I'm going to talk about what it looks like to have a healthy marriage. And I hope that you will be back each and every week as we press into this topic. I hope that you will tell people that you know, hey, Pastor Don, for the next few weeks, is talking about marriage on his podcast. Now, I'm going to do my best, again, to keep these episodes to 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. So your drive to work, your drive home from work, the treadmill, your lunch break, whatever it is, okay? We're going to try and stay in that time frame because I want to give you enough that keeps you growing, okay? But not enough that overwhelms you, because I want us to get some things from what we're talking about here. Does that make sense? Now, in marriage, many of you who do know me know that for the last 18 years here at church at Firm Foundation Ministries, I have done a marriage sermon series every fall. It covers about 8 weeks on Sunday mornings. It is our highest attended church services of the year. That's right. For 8 weeks, we beat our Christmas attendance and our Easter attendance. It's incredible. That just proves how relevant this topic is to everyone. And each and every year, my wife and I work very hard to put together some things that help us address marriage in a very practical and biblical way. And this is going to be no different than that. This is going to be no different for that. So I want you to get ready. Here we go, okay? I'm going to just set us up this week and whet your appetite for what's coming next and those type of things. But I promise you, each and every week, there's going to be some tools that are given to you that help you in your marriage. So I would encourage you, get together with your spouse, sit down and say, hey, this week we're going to listen to the podcast at this time. Matter of fact, why don't you just go ahead and put it on your calendar each and every week, Tuesday evenings, because my podcast comes out every Tuesday morning. Tuesday evenings, Wednesday evenings, whenever it is, you and your spouse are going to sit down and you're going to listen to the podcast together and watch what God will do. Does that sound great? I hope it sounds great because I am thrilled about this topic. You know, my heart towards it, I came to faith in Jesus Christ because 6 months into my marriage with my wife, we were having trouble. 6 months. Now, that might sound a short time to you, but if you've been married one day, you know the struggle of marriage. Come on, somebody. Hello, somebody. Let's go talk about it. Let's just be honest. That's what we do here. We're just talking about it, right? We just want to be honest. And my wife and I came to faith because our marriage was not well. Now, that's been over, at the time of the recording of this podcast, that's been over 30, almost 34 years ago. And God has done some incredible things. And we've taken all those lessons that we learned, and we have tried our best to give them to other people. And I want you to understand, at this point in our marriage for years and years, we love being married. My wife and I love being married. That doesn't mean every day is paradise and you know, everything's in slow motion and we're walking on the beach. No, I'm telling you, but we are loving being married. I love being married. I really do. And I want you to love being married too. And so if this has pricked your heart, you're not going to want to miss any of our episodes on this. Any. So today I want to talk about how we work marriage math, okay? So in this idea of marriage, right, there's a scripture that Jesus speaks of. I think it's Mark chapter 10. And he says, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined with his wife. And the two, everybody say two. And the two shall become one flesh. What? One? How can two people become one? It says, so then they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. Now, marriage math. God's math for marriage is this. 1 + 1 = 1. Hello, somebody. Come on, talk about it. It takes two to make one. It takes two to make one. Are you listening? Come on, talk about it. Oneness is the word that, let me put it this way, romance is made of. Okay? Now we get it. That idea of oneness. It's the thing that couples dream of when they first meet, right? And let me prove it to you in this fact, if we think about it, okay? It's that thing that couples dream of when they first meet. Can I prove it to you? Are you listening? Ready? It's that description that you describe of the person you just met to other people around you. Oh my goodness. I think he's the one. Oh, I think she's the one. In movies and TV shows, the leading couple gazing into each other's eyes with the fantasy of oneness. Come on, we've all seen it. And we hear all the ladies go, oh, it's so beautiful. And all the guys are just like, dude, you get it. Well, in reality, oneness isn't a fantasy at all. Hello, somebody. Come on, talk about it. See, what has happened in our life because of marriage struggles, we have actually come to believe that oneness The oneness that the Bible talks about is a fantasy. And because of all the things that movie and Hollywood and TV and all of that portray into relational romance, we see it as something that's not real. But what if I were to tell you here on season 6, episode 1 of Talk About It, when we're talking about marriage math, what if I told you that oneness was God's very design for marriage? That's right. Marriage math was God's idea. 1 + 1 = 1. Genesis chapter 2, the Lord said, it's not good that man should be alone. I'll make him a helper, not a helpmate, but a helpmeet comparable to him. Think about this for just a minute. So the movies, their premise for marriage is right after all. Oneness is real. However, their portrayal of how to experience it isn't. So what the movies don't show us is what it takes to get there. Come on, talk about it. Listen, have you ever seen a couple in the first stages of falling in love? I mean, come on. They make you roll your eyes, right? You hear them say things like, oh, he's everything I've ever dreamed of. Or you hear a dude say something like, oh, she's a goddess. Or you hear a couple say, oh, we're so perfectly matched. Now, see, we all know that that's not real oneness. Why? Because oneness is built over time as a relationship grows and two people become one. You ever seen that these couples have been married 50, 60 years and they almost finish each other's sentences? It's incredible. Like they walk, they talk, they act like each other. They even look like each other sometimes. It'll freak you out if you pay attention. See, the movies don't show us, TV doesn't show us the part where euphoria disappears and frustrations set in. Now I'm getting to it. You all are like, that's right. They say things like, we hear it when the euphoria wears off, okay, and the frustrations set in. Listen, I've been doing marriage counseling for 25 plus years. It's crisis marriage counseling. And I've heard it just like you have. What went wrong? We never thought we would be here. Maybe I married the wrong person. I fell out of love. I used to love this person, but I don't love them anymore. See, this is at the point where more than half marriages fail. They think they can find someone better. And what they don't realize is the remedy is in their own growth, not a new person. Listen, come on, talk about it. A new relationship is going to require you to go through the same growing pains. I tell people this all the time. You can have the marriage you want with the person you're married to. You just can't be married like you were yesterday. You got to be married different today and tomorrow. Hello, somebody. So how do married couples need to grow from two to become one? Well, I'm glad you asked because that's what I want to do. I want to set us up as we go through this. Okay? Well, see, you have to have two first, two complete individuals. The Bible describes a complete person as a mature person. Let me put it to you this way, an adult. Okay, in other words, marriage is for adults. Hello, somebody. See, let me explain to you what I mean by this. I'm not just talking about someone who's of age. Okay, so they reached age 21, they're an adult, or reached age 18, and now they're an adult. No. This has nothing to do with age. I've seen old people that don't belong to be married. And I've met some very young people who are mature enough. This one young lady that I know, love her so much, and I've come to be very close to her and her family. And you know, she's 18 years old, and she was ready to get married. And so many people are like, oh, you're just too young. And I thought, man, this young lady is incredibly mature. She was ready for a husband. She was ready to be a wife. And it was incredible, her maturity. And they've been married a few years now, and if they're listening, you know who you are. I love you guys. Appreciate you so much. Their maturity is incredible. And they've become great friends with my wife and I, and love being around them and watching their marriage grow and all the things that's happening. It's incredible what happens. You see, marriage is for adults. An adult is not someone who's just reached some kind of age plateau. An adult is someone that can do things that a relationship requires. Oh, hello, somebody. An adult, someone who can give love. An adult, someone who can receive love, be independent, self-sufficient, live out values, be responsible, have self-confidence. An adult, someone who can deal with problems. Let me put it to you this way. An adult is someone who can deal with failures. Listen, if two complete adults marry, then oneness is what they will establish, and they'll be complete. But if either one of them is less than complete, then to the degree that they are incomplete, oneness will suffer in that incompleteness. The incomplete person will take precedent over what they are able to give to the marriage. If you've ever had marriage problems, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Listen, if you come into marriage asking the marriage to complete you, the marriage is going to break down. You can take it from Pastor Don, take it from PD, take it from a marriage counselor. I promise you, I've seen it over and over and over again. If you come into marriage asking the marriage to complete you, you can't be talking about, oh, she completes me. Oh, he completes me. They're my better half, or they make me whole. See, marriage is not meant to be the place where one person gets complete or another person completes someone else. No, marriage is meant for complete persons to come together and build a we that is bigger and better than either of the I's involved could ever be by themselves. That's the definition of a marriage made in heaven. You should not attempt marriage without two adults present. Somebody say amen. Oh my goodness. Face it. Let's face it. Okay? I'm about to preach or podcast or talk myself happy here. I need you to grab a hold of this because these truths are incredible and they will change your lives if you pay attention. They will change the atmosphere and the environment of your marriage if you will pay attention. We need to all face it. No one has ever made it to adulthood ready for all that being an adult requires. Let's just be honest. But the good news is you can grow into it, and as you do, your marriage will become more and more one together. And so this idea here on Season 6, Episode 1, and we talk about marriage math, 1 + 1 = 1, then we've got to challenge the concept of completing versus complementing. Two different terms. Listen, God designed marriage not to make you whole, but to give your wholeness a new range of experience. Too many people see marriage as a ticket to shortcut the process of completeness and maturity. Let me say it again. Too many people get married as a way to shortcut the maturity process. That causes them to get married, not out of their strength, but out of their weakness. Oh, come on. You're marrying to make up for what you don't possess on your own. And that, my friends, never works. And I believe that this point here on Episode 1 of Season 6 is too important for us to not walk in it any longer. In other words, the crucial element of two becoming one is that the two people must be complete in and of themselves. In other words, they must be adults. Marriage is for adults. You see, the strengths that you have in that moment, then they complement your spouse, not complete them. Completing means what you're doing is you're making up for someone else's immaturity as a person. When you want someone to complete you, you want them to make up for the imbalance in your character, and it never works. You are responsible for developing the character imbalances in your own life. Let me say it again. Husband, wife, you are responsible for developing the character imbalances in your own life. Then and only then can you bring a whole balanced self into the relationship of marriage. See, there are areas of completeness that marriage cannot provide. Oh, I'm going to say it. It's a truth, and I know it's going to challenge the Hollywood romanticism of what you've pictured marriage, but it's important to have a biblical perspective about this topic. It is. Because, see, what we want is we want the biblical fruit of this topic, but you can never have biblical fruit unless you have biblical truths. So let's throw away the world's idea about marriage. There are areas of completeness that your marriage cannot provide because it was never designed to do that. What happens when we marry to make up for shortcomings? Well, let me tell you what happens. At first, it's intoxicating. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But let me just tell you something about intoxication, okay? Eventually, whatever makes you drunk will just leave you with a hangover. Oh, I said it. I said it out loud, and I hope you listen. Eventually, whatever makes you drunk will leave you with a hangover. And if you are marrying because of the intoxication that comes into your life, you're going to wind up with a hangover. Do you know what I mean? People sat in my office in that situation. This is why the Bible talks about completeness as a view of maturity. Sure it does. James chapter 1. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. What do you think that means? It's incredible. The Bible talking about completeness in this. There is no shortcut to growth. Somebody say it out loud. Listen, if you are desiring the oneness in your marriage that the Bible talks about, or that it's always been portrayed about, or that maybe what you think you see in other couples, there's no shortcut to growth. There is no shortcut to growth. You cannot marry because of imbalances and think that marrying someone's going to make up for that. You cannot skip out on maturity by marrying into it. I'm going to say it again because I love you. You cannot skip out on maturity by marrying into it. We got to understand this. I've seen people marry each other as a way of escaping their horrible family lives that they grew up in as kids. That's never going to work. I've seen people marry each other because, oh, this person, they complete me. No, see, this is why the Bible says you must be a complete person first. We need to understand it was God's idea for us to complement each other, not complete each other. God didn't say, I'm going to make Eve for Adam because he's incomplete. God said it's not good for him to be alone. He didn't say he was incomplete. He said a help meet, not a helpmate. In other words, Eve was God's idea to complement the wholeness of who Adam was. It's an amazing thing. And I think that we need to learn to embrace this idea that 1 + 1 equals 1. Marriage math is different than any other math in the world. And so I hear you right now, Pastor Don, this is great. Thanks for this. And I'm really encouraged, and I'm hoping that you're processing what's going to happen in this episode or this season. You're saying to me right now, I can hear it. If marriage is for adults, what are the requirements then of adulthood? Oh, that's what episode 2 is going to be about. Oh my goodness. I've got it all laid out for us. Some things. Listen, I want to tell you the story of mine and my wife's process to healing our marriage during this season, okay? I'm going to use our life as an example. I'm not going to use anybody else's life. I'm going to talk to you about what our pastor did to challenge us and how we decided that we had to learn to build our life on values. We didn't even know what our values were. So if marriage is for adults, what are the requirements of adulthood? Well, next week, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start on those requirements. We're going to move through some things, right? And I want you to look forward to all of those things. I really want to complete this. And then I'm going to move into episode 3 where I want to talk about what you value is what you have. And after that, we're going to move into 6 values that I think every marriage should have. Now, I have no idea how many episodes this season's going to be, but why do we care? Because this is such a relevant topic. Not a person on planet Earth that isn't affected by marriage. Not one person. There is not one person on planet Earth that isn't affected by marriage. So here's what I need you to do. Talk about it. I need each and every one of you to like, share, and subscribe, okay? Because we need to let everyone know about this topic, okay? And if that's the truth, that there's not a person on earth that's not affected by marriage, then you know a lot of people that need to hear this podcast. This season in particular, okay? This season in particular. And so let's do that. Text the podcast, just right there in your show notes, just text the podcast. Hey, Pastor Don, this is my plan. I've invited this many people to listen. Email the podcast at talkaboutitpd@gmail.com. Let me know where you're at and how you're going to help promote the podcast and get it in front of some people that this is going to help. Okay, you know this is going to help. Also, will you consider partnering with the podcast? That's right. You can just partner if you want to for as little as $3 a month. Help me as we try to impact this community, this area, all over the world with this message, because you know how relevant it is. Man, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this season. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I've got a lot laid out for us. I've been working on it very, very hard. And so I know each and every week you'll be back. I love you. I do, man. I'm so excited. You guys, I see the numbers. You come back each and every week. I'm so honored by your support. And I cannot wait for what God's going to do on season 6 of Talk About It. Listen, you guys, I love you. You know that. If you've been listening for a while, if you know me personally, you know I love you. But I need you to know, as much as I love you, Jesus loves you more. God bless you. I cannot wait to see you back here next week.